Glenn Clark Radio, talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no, stuff and things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
Just raw dogging it again, man. We're making a habit out of this. Good morning. It is Glenn Clark Radio. I'm Glenn. He's Griffin. And no, there's no Orioles game to react to, which I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm a little bit nervous about playing 2 games in one day in a place where they are red hot. Orioles will throw Dean Kramer in game 1 today. What's the weather circumstances in Boston today? Because I had heard
it's really nice right now.
Right, but they're not going to play right now, and they're not going to play in Baltimore. Neither one. I'm saying like in Boston at 1:30 today. And then maybe again at 7 o'clock today. What does the weather look like as far as the ability to play baseball games?
I think it looks really good right now.
You keep looking out the window.
I do.
It's just not going to help us to know what the weather looks like outside the window currently. You all right over there?
No, my mic is
What? What's going on? The hell is happening around here? I thought we fixed something yesterday. We didn't fix anything? Does anything work? Am I just screaming into the void? Does anyone... Can anybody hear me?
Well, they can hear you.
But as long as that's the case, I guess we don't need to worry about it.
How's that sound? Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
I don't know. I don't have my headphones on, so I can't answer that question.
Check.
What are you doing?
Okay, now I sound okay.
What the hell is happening?
I don't know what's happening either. I'd like.
I always love it when the show starts and then we're dealing with problems. Here, I have my headphones on now, so maybe I can help.
You don't want to hear what I sound like.
Oh, yeah, that's gross, man. What are you doing over there? What are you doing? Why are you sabotaging yourself? What is the value of that? Is it time for a new board? Is that just where we're at? Do we need to move the other board in here? We could do that. That's not the end of the world. We just got to take it with us. I don't like the idea of shutting down one board and resetting it, though I don't know when we're doing our next live show. I do like doing live shows. I'd like for them to be an option a little bit more. That would be nice. Well, then, I'll just keep rambling. Chris Broussard will join us in a few minutes.
That's what you do anyway, right?
Yeah, typically. Yeah. Broussard will join us. Then I'm looking forward today to be joined in studio by Sheldon Candis, Baltimore native. You may remember Sheldon Candis directed the ESPN 30-4-30 Baltimore Boys a few years back about those Dunbar basketball teams, coached by Bob Wade. Sheldon Candis has a full-length motion picture that he has directed, and it is available now on both Hulu and Disney+. It's called They Fight. It was filmed right here in Baltimore. It stars Wendell Pierce. You, of course, know Bunk from The Wire, and Andre Holland, who was in Moonlight, among others. And we're going to chat with him about this film. It's very sports-centric because it's a boxing film. And it was derived from a documentary about this gym in D.C. It's a really cool story. It's very uplifting. So we'll look forward to chatting with Sheldon Candis about that a little bit later on in the program as he's slated to join us in studio.
Weather it's going to be very windy in Boston today.
But not rain.
No.
At all. Not this afternoon, not tonight. So they're playing two no matter what.
At 4 o'clock, there's a 17% chance of precipitation.
There was a small part of me that was hoping that maybe there would somehow be a baseball game tomorrow because we got nothing else going on tomorrow.
I already told you. It's a big day tomorrow.
Nothing.
Season
Zero.
13 on TBS of
You can go ahead and
IJ.
practical joke if you'd like. I'll pass. I'm good.
saying the best show on television.
Who said that?
I did.
According to Griffin, no one else. So yeah, that's the deal. Doubleheader today. Dean Kramer will go in game 1 for the Orioles, and Kyle Bradish will go in game 2. Jake Bennett was announced as the game 1 starter for Boston. For some reason, they haven't announced game 2, which as of yesterday was going to be Ranger Suarez, and then out of nowhere they switched it because they were afraid the game wasn't going to be played. Now,
they said apparently he might be under the weather too.
Oh, is that's what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay, well that would explain more. Because I would just say, why
Yeah.
wouldn't you just go ahead now that you know there's going to be a game?
Right.
And according to Griffin, the weather isn't a problem. Why wouldn't he just be the starter? But apparently,
My fantasy team wants to know why as well.
that's the most important. Obviously, that's the most important thing. The Orioles were available to the media before the game yesterday, and before what was supposed to be the game yesterday. Samuel Basallo apparently spoke to reporters, according to Matt Wyrick of The Sun. Basallo said that he's, quote, confident he'll avoid an IL stint, has been in a good spot managing the shoulder soreness, but it flared up on him for a couple of days, feeling better now and still swinging a bat. So we'll see. That's all you got. We'll see. The Orioles have decided up to this point to not put him on the IL, so they need to be pretty confident that he will be available. Clearly, they're going to need 2 catchers today. They do have Sam Huff and Chadwick Tromp on the roster. They also get to add a 27th man, although that's usually a pitcher. That's normally the way it works, to make sure that you have enough arms to cover all the innings.
Call Creed
for on top of everybody else. I guess if, like, before the game today they were to announce another roster move and one of the 2 catchers is gone, well, then I think you have a complete and total answer about where they are with Basallo. We will see how that plays out. You would also assume that we should be getting a lineup fairly soon for game 1, and that might tell us a little bit about where they are, at least with Samuel Basallo. So that's about it as far as the Orioles are concerned. Not a whole lot else to say. Again, they'll play at 1:35. It's not a true doubleheader. They'll play at 1:35, and then they'll all, play Uno for a couple of hours. I assume there's not enough. This is the frustrating part as a baseball player. I don't know what hotel the Orioles stay at in Boston, but making matters worse, if they're leaving tonight, they've probably already checked out of the hotel. So they almost certainly have no option to go anywhere but just hang out in the visitors' clubhouse in the smallest stadium in baseball.
Well, I mean,
and they're just
going to be arriving at around like 4:30 anyway, right?
What's that?
For a normal 7:00 game.
Yeah, but they haven't been there since 10 in the morning.
Yeah, but I mean, what are they gonna where are they gonna go?
That's the point.
They go to the hotel for 15 minutes.
That's what around? That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
What I'm saying is they're going to be stuck and cramped in the visitors' clubhouse, which, as we all know, is never quite as nice as the home clubhouse. It's not that like this is college football where they're stuffing you in, everything's pink and they're trying to make your life hell. But it's never quite as nice as the home clubhouse is. And it's the most cramped stadium in baseball. Not a big deal. Like, people have real problems. Like, in the context of the world, not all that significant. But imperative that the Orioles, like, the smallest thing you can say is they have to win one of these 2. The truth is, because they dropped game 1, if they want to maintain momentum, they really needed to go to Boston and win the series. And I keep trying to say this. They don't have any ground to give back. It's the problem with getting excited about a 7-game win streak. You're still 2 games under 500. Now you're 3. You don't have any margin to give ground back. You ruin. That's the reality. In a normal world, hey, you go, you lose 2 out of 3 in Boston. Well, hey, they're red hot. Obviously, you get swept. It's, a complete disaster. You lose 2 out of 3 in Boston. They're red hot. These things happen. The Orioles don't have margin for error. Now, I'm saying that based on the fact that they've got to make decisions for August 3rd. Obviously, as you heard yesterday from John Mioli, his opinion is they might be more aggressive than they have justification for being. And he said that not based on the idea that maybe Mike Elias is on the hot seat, but instead maybe a bigger picture look at where the Orioles have been for the last couple of years, that they want to get out of this funk and get some momentum going for 2027, and then add on to that something that John's talked about a lot, which is the number of players they have in their system that they just don't have room for on their 40-man roster next year, and that they would have to expose to the Rule 5 draft, provided there is a Rule 5 draft this year, which, I guess remains to be determined. And that combination of things could lead to them being more aggressive than perhaps you would expect a team a few games under 500. Let's just say that's where they are. I still think that could be reckless. Like, I still don't know that I feel that that's wise. But that's what he says. So maybe I'm being too dramatic about the lack of margin for error. Maybe the Orioles could just hang within shouting distance. They're still within 4.5 games of a playoff spot. They're going to say that's close enough. Let's go get some pieces. But as I keep saying, the sheer number of pieces that they need is so significant that to me, you have to look like a contender. You have to look like a team that really can do something. And you have a very small window to keep that momentum going. The bare minimum, you got to win a game today. You could still come out of this weekend, let's just say, you go, come home, play the Braves, you win 2 out of 3. If you at least win 1 today, you can still make the argument for, well, we've won 10 of our last 13, right? Like, you still can have a momentum argument. You get swept in Boston, things get perilous because it's not just that you're losing the games and losing ground. It's that you're adding into that, you're losing the momentum and the positive vibes, and it makes it harder to believe that you can just get those things back, and makes us more likely to believe that what we saw for 7 games was an anomaly and not really a story of a team that had turned things completely around. So just go do it. Just go win at least one. I'd prefer you win them both. That would be really good. If you haven't picked up the print issue of Press Box yet, it is available for free at your Baltimore area High's dairy stores and at the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box. You can read it all at PressBoxOnline.com. Kevin Brown's on the cover. You know him. Orioles play-by-play voice. Go pick that up today if you haven't yet, as it will only be available for a few more weeks before it makes way for a brand new print issue of Press Box. Let's switch things up a little bit. Joining us now, someone we always enjoy our conversations with. Most of this city was furious when they saw that Lamar Jackson was ranked just 69th on the NFL Top 100 list, but he says, no. This is a good thing. Allow him to explain. You know him. You watch him every day on FS1. He is the voice of Baltimore Ravens fans on national television. He is our buddy Chris Broussard, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Chris, it's Glenn. It's always good to catch up, man. Thank you so much for taking the time for us.
Man, it's great to be on. Been having a great summer, but looking forward to football and, of course, the Ravens. So it's always good to join you, man. And as far as Lamar 69th, I mean, obviously that's ridiculous, but here's the good news. The 2 years he was snubbed in this, the 2 previous years, he was snubbed in this poll. Mm-hmm. He was unranked after his rookie season. and he went out and, of course, won MVP. And then he was, after a couple of, seasons where he was banged up a little bit, played like 12 games, he came in at number 72 in the preseason ranking, and all he does is go out and win the MVP. So maybe another MVP season could be in the works for Lamar Jackson. I'm sure he's motivated by this ranking, which is by his peers. That's the thing. Coaches wouldn't be any better, but the coaches at least had him fifth, but among quarterbacks. But this is low. It's among his peers. Should motivate him. And from all that we see so far, Glenn, he seems to be excited about the new offense with Declan Doyle, and so maybe that'll bring a little life to him as well.
So I like your take, and I like the spin, because I do agree that, like, I don't think Lamar obsesses over this type of stuff, but I think we know enough to know that, like, he hears it, right? He reacts to some of it.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely. You're a competitor,
Yeah, absolutely. He hears all of it, and I like that concept. We also know that in general, like, this list doesn't matter. They don't give you like an extra win at the end of the year if you had a player come in the top 10 of this list. This is for us.
Right.
Like, this is for, hey, it's July, we can use some fodder. So here you go. You can talk about this.
That's absolutely all it is.
Yes, 100%.
I got to be honest, the players are not clothing themselves in glory with this poll. I was stunned that, and look, he had a nice little year last year, but I was shocked that Bryce Young was in the poll. I know he was like 98th or something like that, but I was a bit stunned by that. Obviously, they got Lamar low. They got Bo Nix ahead of him, Trevor Lawrence ahead of him. I get it. It's based on last year. Lamar was banged up, didn't have his greatest year by any stretch. Had a poor year, but even in a poor year, a 104 passer rating, 21 TDs, 7 picks. So I expect a huge year from Lamar Jackson. And look, the thought is out there. My co-host, Nick Wright, on First Things First, he feels like that as Lamar is losing or even maybe lost, I don't go this far, but Nick does, lost his running ability or, his incredible running ability, that now that he's just a passer, he is not going to be elite just as a passer. I actually think he has grown and improved so much that even just as a passer, he can be elite. Although I do expect him to run a little bit more, be more elusive in the pocket, and not take all those sacks that he took last year.
It's an interesting topic of conversation. Chris Broussard from First Things First is with us here on GCR. Chris, obviously a year ago he wasn't, right? And I think most of us believe that was related to the injuries that he suffered during the course of the season. But I have said this before, like it burns me. Like, my blood boils over the years when I've heard people say Lamar should stop running. Like, what? Why? Why should Lamar stop running?
Right.
And this argument that, like, hey, quarterbacks that run are more likely to get hurt. We have the data. It's never been true. It's not true. And even Lamar's injuries have come when he's in the pocket. Like, that's the way that it's worked, because typically those are the hits that you don't see coming. I am in a weird place where, like, there's a part of me that wonders if Lamar has almost purposely said, I do want to run less. Like, we talk about the things that he hears, that's somehow been a knock on him. I hope that it was just the injury stuff, not because I think you're right. I think Lamar can absolutely pick you apart now as a passer. He can make every throw. He is extraordinarily capable. I have no concerns about that. But I don't know why Superman would say, well, I would rather only use 80% of my powers, right? Like, I hope that it's just the injuries, and I hope that he's still very willing to run again this season.
I do, unfortunately, believe that it has affected his thinking. Mm-hmm. And I do think over the past few years, he has purposely dialed back his running. And I probably said it on your show. I know I said it on First Things First. I thought when they lost that AFC Championship game to Kansas City, he was not looking to run at all. In fact, remember, I think he had a 21-yard gain, and he was kind of looking back at the defender, and the defender, I think, got his arm, and he tackled him. Lamar was looking, instead of just taking off and running away from the defender, he was kind of looking back like he wasn't looking to break away.
Mm-hmm.
And so I do think I think it was, whether consciously or subconsciously, I just think all the talk about him not being a true quarterback, him only being able to run, he can't throw, he should have been a wide receiver, all of that stuff, I think that did lead him to say, well, I'll show you. I can be a great passer. I can be a traditional quarterback. And he has done that, but his running is a huge advantage for him.
Correct.
And, I mean, look at Josh Allen. Even Mahomes, I don't know if Mahomes will do it anymore with the knee injury, but Mahomes has been a very advantageous runner. Josh Allen, obviously, that's a huge part of his game. And I do think Lamar just has to take advantage of that, because there will, and hopefully it hasn't come already, but there will be a day when he can't run. And he will just have to rely on his arm and his smarts and all that stuff. But I hope that this season –
Oh, I think we just lost Chris. We'll see if we can't reconnect with him. Of course. Oh, Chris, you there?
I
Sorry.
don't even know if he'll get 800 yards, Lamar. But I definitely want to see him more elusive, where he's not taking all those sacks, and be able to run and use it to his advantage. And I think he will, but I don't know for sure. We'll have to wait and see.
Benefit also that the Ravens prioritized upgrading the offensive line this offseason in order to try to protect him, including obviously bringing in Ethan Posick most recently. Chris, we talked a few months back about the possibility of the Ravens bringing in a veteran receiver, and I think you and I were on the same boat. You were like, I don't think they need to, but I wouldn't be opposed to it. As you look at this roster right now that they've added in a legitimate starting caliber center, I don't know that Ethan Posick is Tyler Linderbaum, but he's worthy of being a starter.
He'll be good enough.
Yes, exactly right. Like, I'm good with that. Do you look at the Ravens roster, and obviously there's the huge question of what does it look like with a first-year head coach and a first-time play caller, but just looking at the roster, are you good again that this is a viable AFC Championship Super Bowl contending team?
Absolutely. If Lamar is healthy, and gosh, he's got to be healthy, there's no question I think they can compete. Doesn't mean they will, but I do think they are a contender and have one of those 5-6 teams in the AFC that has a legit chance to reach the Super Bowl or get to the AFC Championship game. I hate losing Isaiah Likely.
Mm-hmm.
I really like him a lot, and I think he's probably only going to get better. But, Mark Andrews is still there. The receivers, it's not an elite receiving group, but it is. Lamar has been great with this group. I mean, Zay Flowers has been a Pro Bowler, and he is, a good receiver, not an elite receiver, but a very good receiver. If Bateman can stay healthy, I think he's a fine number 2. And then, of course, like I said, you got Andrews. And I think you'll still see, a 2 tight end set at times. The run game, you got to hope, and I do believe Derrick Henry has at least one more very good year left in him.
Mm-hmm.
You hope he doesn't fall off much. And I'm excited about Declan Doyle, not just because Lamar seems excited about the new offense, but look, he is coming from being under Ben Johnson, and we know how innovative they were last year in Chicago. And I would imagine if you're a Declan Doyle who does like to do different things and utilize the great talent you have, I got to be thinking you're looking at a guy like Lamar Jackson and saying, oh, my, I can do so much with him. So I'm excited about seeing that. And then I do think Jesse Minter, I think he's going – look, the defense got better last year as the season went on. But in the last couple of years, they haven't really been that elite Baltimore Ravens defense that you've gotten used to. I think Minter will resurrect that. They made some decent moves in the offseason, but Minter, when he went to the Chargers, they were one of the worst, bottom 10 in the league in defense, and he made them one of the top defenses in the league right away. And I think he's going to improve the Ravens on that side of the ball, which will be huge. And so, I definitely think they have a great chance for this to be the year that they finally can get to the Super Bowl.
Chris, I wanted to ask you a question just because we've had a million conversations over the years, and I don't know that I've ever actually asked you about it. And as you know, your former employer is in the news again this week, and I'm not trying to ask you about that because you have nothing to do with that. I want to know, because there's a lot of people that are going through it right now. You made the decision on your own. I bet there were people in your life that thought you were crazy to leave that place and the profile gig that you had there. And obviously, it's worked out really well, right? Like, you've ended up on a show that's incredibly popular that people hold up as one of the best sports shows, if not the best on television. Can you take me back to, like, those moments and what you were going through and maybe some of the nerves, the anxiety that you dealt with in making that decision? You know, as we see that this happens in this industry, that people end up leaving a place like that is heralded as being the king.
Yeah, well, I was at ESPN for 12 years, and I had, I guess, I probably had 4 contracts with them because they generally were 3 years. And there was early, like, I think my second or third contract there, probably I don't know which one, second or third. It was a third. I had offers from other outlets to go, and actually at least one of them was for more money. But I was like, look, I'm at ESPN. I'm making good money. I mean, this is the worldwide leader in sports. I'm high profile. I'm on television as well as writing for .com in the magazine. So I was like, I'm not leaving. There's no reason to leave, even though it was less money. ESPN was great. I have nothing bad to say about my time at ESPN. Why I left, though, was because, as you know, when I was at ESPN, I was strictly in a reporter's role.
Right.
So I was, breaking NBA stories. I was, writing NBA stories and features, sideline reporting, which I really enjoyed, but stuff like that. I would appear on First Take a decent amount with Skip Bayless, but then they really wanted me, as we were negotiating after my last contract there ended. They really wanted to keep me in a reporter's role. They had Stephen A., I think, had come back to First Take, so they weren't alternating people on that with Skip anymore. And they just wanted me to be a reporter. And Fox was wanted me to be more of a personality and a commentator. So my personality could show more. I could, it's like I often equate it to this. Back when newspapers were king, you had beat writers who covered the teams, and I was a beat writer for the New York Times, for the New York Knicks and the New Jersey Nets. And, I covered the team, wrote all the stories, the practices. And then you had columnists who just wrote their opinion.
That had to add flavor.
And that was the higher, right. They didn't have to break stories. They didn't have to chase practice every day. They wrote their opinions. And that's the highest position the columnist. And so I really just transferred to being a columnist at Fox Sports 1. It's just on television. And of course I did radio one as well. So it was more the job that was being offered rather than the company or the corporation. But Fox has been great. It has worked out terrifically. As you know, I got my own show with Nick Wright and Kevin Wild.
Yep.
And I'll say this, I was thinking about this as I looked at the layoffs yesterday. For most people, the time there, I wouldn't say short, because I was there 12 years. That's a good amount of time. But very few people stay there forever. Mm-hmm. Carl Ravitch was there. He got laid off for 33 years. Linda Cohn stayed there. She just retired. Michael Wilbon, Stephen A. was out, went there, was out, then went back. But I think of Rick Bucher and Mark Stein and David Aldridge and myself and, the guys that got let go yesterday. And, a lot of people there are there for a season, and then they move on. Rachel Nichols is another one. Like, you have your time there. and then you move on. And fortunately, I've been able to move on to really something that, quite honestly, has been better for me and more fun and enjoyable and lucrative.
And frankly, in an era where, and I don't say this, most of these types of shows stink. And I'm just being honest, Chris. Like, a lot of these shows stink. You've managed to figure out a way to do one that doesn't, and that is a testament to what you guys have going on over there. Chris, what can we plug for you, brother?
Well, I mean, just, first things first. This August we'll be off a couple of weeks, but get ready for the football season, so everybody tune into that. And right now, that's about it. People can check me out on my Instagram, Chris Broussard68, Twitter, Chris_Broussard.
Chris,
so, check me out there.
You're the best, man. We'll be talking during the course of football season. Always appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your summer, man. Let's do it again real soon, all right?
Thanks, brother. You too, man. Have a good summer.
Chris Broussard, First Things First on Fox. Appreciate him on FS1, obviously. Appreciate him taking the time. It's interesting, right? Like, the way that he portrays it, there wasn't really a ton of anxiety. It was easy for him to make that decision. And, there were others in, like, the infancy of FS1 that kind of made that jump and were willing to do that. And I don't know. I have no idea what, the folks who were let go by ESPN are feeling this week, as far as there are probably some that are like, yeah, you know what, I'm ready to do something else. I'm just ready to do something else. I've been doing the same thing for a long time. I'm ready to do something else. There are others who are probably dealing with quite a bit of anxiety about it and not knowing. I said yesterday, there's no world in which you're better without Karl Ravech. That just doesn't exist. Now, it's easy for me to say that. It's not as easy for me to run someone else's books. I don't think ESPN is bleeding money. I think they're doing just fine. And my guess is, if I was over there, I would probably find a different way to go about it. The anger always gets directed to the guys that are on top, right? The anger always gets directed to the Pat McAfees, the Stephen A. Smiths, because we know what their salaries are. And to us, they're unjustifiable. In part, it's easy for someone like me to say, I'll never in a million years watch those two. I never will. It just won't happen. It's not for me. For me, the only thing that matters is watching the sports. I would argue that the where you should be investing your money is having the best possible people working those broadcasts. I think that ESPN's coverage, I've said it a million times, their coverage of the NBA has been an abomination. It has been shameful, the way that they have covered the NBA, where they have the championship. They were always outshined by TNT in every aspect. It was unreal comparing the quality of coverage that TNT gave the NBA to what ESPN presented. And while it definitely helped for ESPN to fold inside the NBA, it definitely improved their coverage, tenfold. They still didn't do enough of it. They still included a lot of their own low rent coverage during the course of the season. It's just that their argument would be not as many people watch during the NBA regular season. And they're not wrong. They're not. They sort of decided to make inside the NBA like you can exist for marquee, like Christmas, the marquee events, and then we need you for the end of the season and the postseason. And for what it's worth, that is when people are watching the NBA. I would say if you want to invest money, you should invest it around that. They would say, well, we have to exist 24/7. We have to exist. We have to have programming. And if business-wise it is that lucrative for you to have the Pat McAfee show, then I can't argue with it. I hate it. I mean, I do. I can't lie about that. I hate that that's what we've come to, that that's what people want if that's true. But business is business. The Karl Ravech one bothers me because he actually impacted the quality of your sports programming. He made it better. And you're losing that. and that makes you worse. With respect, everybody knows I love Bart Scott. One of the most entertaining dudes on the face of the planet. I've never watched Bart Scott on ESPN. I don't even know what he was doing on ESPN.
He was on Get Up. I told you watch that show
Yeah,
every day.
Sure, if you say so. That's not going to affect me even a little bit. Not even a little bit. And Bart's going to be fine, believe it or not. Bart Scott will be okay. I think he'll
What about Ryan Clark?
survive. I think Ryan Clark's going to be all right. They actually did use Ryan a little bit on Monday Night Football programming, so I did see him from time to time. And as I said, I think one of the finest hours of ESPN involved Ryan Clark because in the aftermath of the Damar Hamlin situation, he was wonderful. Was very human. I'm not trying to tell you I agree with Ryan Clark or I think he nailed everything. I don't know that ESPN in the last 20 years has had a finer hour than their coverage of what looked like was going to be a national tragedy. They nailed it. And so if I were to offer anything, it's only shameful to me that they would fire Ryan Clark because I can actually associate Ryan Clark with something good that they did. And the ability to do programming, particularly live programming. Do you imagine if it was Pat McAfee? I don't know. Maybe Pat McAfee has it in him to not. Oh man, I don't know, bro. Like maybe he would have it in him to be a human in those moments. I don't know. I've never seen that. But Ryan Clark did and nailed it. And for that, I think he would have earned a bit more from ESPN. Again, to me, their absolute finest moment in recent memory. And I acknowledge that I just don't watch any programming that isn't sports. So, if you're telling me NFL Live is stupid good, I don't know.
PTI?
Even like PT, I just don't think those guys are really as invested anymore. Like PTI was the best of the worst. You know what I mean? Like it was the best show that existed, and it was one.
It's never bad.
I don't know. I haven't watched much of it, but like the clips that I've seen, I've just wondered how much those guys are really following sport. Like, I mean, you get to that point in your life, like, how invested are you? I don't blame them.
You're going to break my heart if you're telling me Tony Kornheiser doesn't want sports.
I don't know that Tony Kornheiser ever even liked sports. Remember Tony Kornheiser when he had a radio show, like, refused to put any athletes on? Like, would always do.
No, I don't remember that. I didn't know.
Yeah, he had a radio show, and it was like, he was not going to interview athletes. He wasn't going to. He would have some writers on, but he was also going to do, like, politics, and he was going to do movies, and he was going to do. Look, that's why, frankly, it was a show for me, because it was only kind of about sports. I would be in a very difficult spot if I was doing PTI, right? It required me to know who played for the Cincinnati Reds.
I bet you can name.
Imagine.
How many Reds?
Ellie De La Cruz.
Okay. You think you can name 5 Reds?
I don't know. Hunter Green.
Yeah, all right.
Right.
That counts.
We're already in trouble.
Or 2.
Who else plays for the Reds?
They got a guy in the Rookie of the Year race.
Do they?
Yeah. I think Weatherholt's the favorite. This guy's the second.
Oh God. Oh.
Plays first base.
Shut up. I know, and I just can't think of what his. Oh my God. Who is that?
He's on my fantasy team.
Nobody cares about that, Griffin. Your fantasy team. Oh, Sal Stewart.
Sal
Sal
Having
Stewart.
a great year.
Yeah, Sal Stewart is on the Reds. All right. So, and Burns.
Yeah,
right?
there you go. Chase
Burns.
He's even better than Hunter Green.
Eugenio's there, right?
Yep, Suarez is back.
Okay, I got 5.
Yeah.
All right, I got 5.
Orioles just played him like 2 weeks ago.
Got 5.
3 weeks ago.
Oh, and I was trying to think. That's what I was trying. Blade. I know Blade is there
JJ
because I didn't until I watched those games. I had no idea that Blade was there. Truth be
And
told.
of course, you're about to
And I
say
say watch
Matt
those
McClain,
games. I didn't get to
Spencer
watch those
Steer.
games. I got to watch like a half a second of one of them. It was on Peacock, and I was trying to VPN my way through it while I was in Africa. Struggle. I was on the struggle bus trying to watch.
TJ Friedel, of course.
Oh yeah, TJ Friedel. I do remember that from.
He's having an awful season.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
You say so. But like I would be in a difficult spot because I just don't pay attention to sports like that. I pay attention to the Orioles like that. I pay attention to the Ravens like that. I pay attention to Loyola lacrosse like that. I don't pay attention to like the number of times that I forget someone. When Brad Beal opted out of his contract with the Clippers, I said to myself, I cannot believe Brad Beal was still in the NBA. I had no earthly idea.
He's a star.
Yeah, I'm so sure. I think he's still available. I think he's still out there for someone to pick up. Oh, he's coming home, you're saying? He's going to join?
I mean, if he is still available, then yeah.
I think he is. I think he is still out there.
Yeah, he is available.
So I would struggle
Oh,
in
come
those
on.
circumstances.
Celtics apparently are courting him.
Why are you mad about that?
Because it's the Celtics. Go anywhere
How
else.
is he going to help them?
Go to, like, Milwaukee or something.
How, like, why would that bother you?
Because it's Boston.
Right, but he's not good.
Yes, he is.
He used to be good.
He can make 3-pointers.
Sort of. I actually have no idea. I did not watch Brad Beal at all this season. Maybe he had a wonderful year. I couldn't tell you. But my guess is he's not good
hopefully
anymore.
I think this is just smoke from his agent trying to get more
trying
from
to get
Washington.
him is that what it is?
Apparently, Bradley Beal considers the Celtics a free agent.
The super
landing,
team
you
is
know?
what you want. You want the
and obviously that's not true. He would never go to Boston. He doesn't actually want to go to Boston. This is him trying to leverage
very worked up about
DC.
Yeah. You're not better without Carl Ravage. I'm not worried about most of these people. I think most of these people are incredibly talented and will do just fine wherever they end up. I'm not panicked that Tom Pelissero will be without work. I think he's going to be just fine. I think someone will scoop him up and he'll be in great shape. That's my opinion about the subject. But I never want to see actual – I'm not going to watch ESPN. I'm not worried about ESPN. I'm worried about the coverage of the sports. And Carl Ravage made their coverage of sports better, dramatically better. So that's a bummer for me. All right, still to come today, Sheldon Candis, Baltimore native and director of They Fight. He's going to join us in studio. We're going to talk to him about that new Hulu and Disney Plus film. We have the lineup for the Orioles. We'll share that with you when we come back in. It is a Wednesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
Aloha, O's fans! Summer is in full swing, and so is Hawaiian Shirt Weekend at the Yard. And for the first time ever, we have one for kids, too. Watch the O's take on the Atlanta Braves on Sunday, July 26th at 1:35 p.m. 5,000 fans 12 and under will score a Kids Birdland Hawaiian shirt presented by Old Bay. Don't miss out on one of Birdland's favorite giveaways. Get your tickets today at Orioles.com/tickets.
This is Stan the Fan. You know we talk all the time about our O's stepping up in the big moments, delivering when it matters most. If you've been injured in a car accident anywhere around Baltimore, that's your big moment, and you need someone who delivers. That's why I'm here to tell you about Warnken Injury Lawyers. They fight for Baltimore families every single day. Insurance companies play games. Warnken plays to win. So call 443-RESULTS. That's 443-RESULTS, or go to warnkenlaw.com. When you need results, it's right there in the number, 443-RESULTS.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery, because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
When you feel invisible, exhausted, stressed, or anxious, when you have days that just feel too hard to get through, you are not alone. If you or someone you love is struggling with mental health or problems with drugs or alcohol, help is right in your hands. Call or text 988 to get support whenever you need it. Help is here. Call or text 988. Brought to you by Maryland Department of Health.
The stars are shining brighter at Live Casino this summer. Celebrate America's 250th with $1 million. Earn entries daily July 1st through August 29th and snap a pic with our game board for a chance to win $100 in free play every week. We'll draw 50 free play winners each Saturday and $1 million winner on August 29th. Light it up at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Pressbox is available now. On the cover, Dave LaMonaco profiles Orioles play-by-play voice Kevin Brown, looking at his rise as an amiable mainstay and one of the top voices in all of baseball. Also inside, Antonio Barbera looks at whether the championship window is narrowing for the Ravens veteran core, and our special travel section with a look at sports tourism options throughout Maryland for you and your family to enjoy this summer. Pressbox is available for free at over 250 locations throughout the region, including your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores. Plus, you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Wednesday edition of the program. We do have the Game 1 lineup for the Orioles. Taylor Ward leading off in left field. Pete Alonso at first base. Gunnar Henderson at short. Tyler O'Neill in right field. Kobe Mayo DHing, Leody Taveras in center, Christian Encarnacion Strand at third, Jackson Holiday at second, and Sam Huff behind the plate.
That's pretty good. You should do that on the radio.
Sam Huff catching Game 1 for the Orioles means no Samuel Basallo. Apparently, I'm seeing somewhere online that maybe originally Chadwick Trump was in the lineup.
I think they said he was in the lineup yesterday.
I got a daily MLB lineup says Orioles late scratch out Chadwick Trump in Sam Huff.
I don't. I mean, I guess that could be true, but he was in the line. Trump was in the lineup last night.
That they were supposed to.
Yeah,
and that Bennett was going to pitch. Last night.
Well, yeah, it was the other guy.
It was Rivera, but they scratched. So, and he's a righty, right?
Rivera was, I believe. Yeah.
So this would
the
be
Ranger was a
bit...
lefty. So, but yeah, Rivera, who they thought was pitching, yeah, was right-handed.
Yes. So this is a lefty that they're facing, obviously, in Bennett. So I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know why it says that.
Oh, no, Rivera is a lefty.
Rivera's a lefty?
How do they have so many lefties?
That's insane, isn't it? Jeez, that's nuts. Anyway, the obvious is that Kobe Mayo is going to be in the lineup. I guess it's interesting that he's DHing, right? And not playing third, but doesn't matter. You just wanted him in the lineup. The bigger story is no Basallo for Game 1. Now, look, it's still possible. You knew two different. You're not going to have the same catcher play both games today. That doesn't mean it's impossible that Basallo isn't going to catch Game 2. The real kind of question becomes, do you want to make a roster move with whoever catches Game 1 if you're confident that Basallo can catch Game 2? And so that's where maybe, because of the two of them, I think that if they were keeping a catcher, they would want to keep Huff. It would make more sense to me that you would have Trump catch Game 1, then ship him out. It doesn't really matter. You could still do that after Game 1, like if you wanted to, but presumably you want another. If something were to, let's say Basallo can catch Game 2. Let's just, hypothetically, Basallo is good. He can catch Game 2. If he starts and takes a foul ball off the foot, you don't want to have to turn to someone who already caught 9 innings that day. So presumably, you're not making a roster move even if Basallo can catch. because presumably in that scenario you're keeping Chadwick Trump in case something were to happen to Basallo. But that's, I can't say that factually. I'm not there. I'm not making those decisions. Shout out to my guy Tumnus, former part of the GCR family. Always, forever. Family is family. When you're in the family, you're in the family. He does check in at Glenn Clark Radio on Twitter and say that Bradley Beal is confirmed washed. Thank you, Tumnus. Thank you. Admittedly, I just assumed that because I remember the Bradley Beal that showed up in Phoenix, and that guy was washed, so I can't fathom that it changed much from there. But this is why I said I probably wouldn't be good on these shows because I have no idea what I'm talking about. I just don't watch other sports. If I worked there, I would. A lot of internet hubbub about the Miami Heat apparently sharing on social media that a link for a LeBron James introductory press conference with the date July 27th shared for this YouTube link that made people say, well, I guess we know where LeBron James is going. I guess we know what his next stop is. According to the Heat, this was just speculative. In case LeBron James decides to come to Miami, we wanted to be ready for that. Now, maybe, let's just say hypothetically that's possible. But let's be fair. If maybe LeBron James was coming to Miami and you wanted to get ahead of that, why would you have scheduled a date for a press conference? What if LeBron James has plans on July 27th? What if he's getting a haircut that day? Seems unlikely. But, it's a bit far-fetched for me to buy this story that they're telling. I know the Kalshi odds shifted significantly because of this, and I understand that.
And Kalshi knows, yeah.
Right, Kalshi knows. If you ask me today, because somebody did, I think my friend Matt Luderman was asking me last night at the gym. He was like, where do you think LeBron's going? And I was like, well, until this week, I would have said definitively back to Cleveland or Golden State. But now, all of a sudden, I don't know. How this happens, I'm not sure. I've got some questions. I assume in the coming days and weeks we will get an answer about that. But the Miami Heat say, no. Just we were just, in case. We just wanted to be ready. That's all it was. That's the entirety of the story. Really excited about a guest who's now joining us in the studio. Griffin, you want to share the trailer for those that haven't seen it yet? For this is courtesy of Anscape. There is a new motion picture that is available right now on Disney Plus and Hulu that I had the chance to watch last week. I'm not sure if you guys have had the chance to watch it yet. If you haven't, you need to. It's really good. And it's really Baltimore as well. It might not be set in Baltimore, but it was filmed in Baltimore, and there's awful lot of Baltimore involved. The film is called They Fight. This is the trailer, again, courtesy of Anscape for They Fight.
Again, I'm sure you are well aware this is your last shot.
Please tell us, what are your plans for your life?
Get my life together. At least try to do some good. Even if you lose, man, you gotta fight back.
You walked him in here. I'm expecting you to help me train him. Coach?
I ain't no damn babysitter.
I know who you are. You got no home, nowhere to go, but this gym keeps calling you.
Slim say you used to be great.
Nobody remembers the corner man, just a fighter.
Ain't got too many places for these kids to go. They gonna close it like they close everything else.
DC would always compete at the Junior Nationals. I'll make a deal with you. If y'all can see past my mistakes, I promise you I'll give you everything I got.
Let's go.
Lock in!
Lock in!
Lock in!
Lock in!
Lock in! If you ain't trying to get it up, what you pursuing for? Please, can I come home?
You gotta do the work first.
Whatever happened to you, I'm really sorry, Coach.
I'm trying to be a living legend. Pockets. I found my fight again. It's in each and every one of y'all. Let's go out with a bang, Slim.
Young amateur fighters are stepping into the ring today, displaying pure heart and hustle.
Come on, man, move your feet. Yeah. It's time to lock in.
Yes, Coach.
Let's get it. Come on.
Yeah, born king working like a slave. From the dungeon always.
Joining us now? Yeah, there we are. Joining us now here in studio, he is the director of They Fight, and he is a Baltimore native. It's a pleasure to welcome in Sheldon Candis, who is with us here on GCR. Sheldon, it's so great to see you. Thanks so much for stopping by and hanging out with us.
Yes, sir. So I walk into the studio.
Yeah, it's not exactly what you would expect, right? Like, it's way more of a frat house.
What?
It's way more. Normally, we clean up a little bit. I don't know what happened there. I have no idea.
No, but here's the thing, though. But I wanted to give you your props as I walked in here because I believe that, like, we get sent totems, signs along our journey. And I walked in here and I saw your Sandlot poster.
Dude, this is one of my favorite things. So the Sandlot, I have two sons. I have an 11-year-old, I have a 9-year-old.
Nice.
The Sandlot meant everything to me growing up. Like, I'm a baseball person. Like, I love the Sandlot. And it was so special in their young lives for me to be able to share that with my kids. Like, you never know what from your Americana translates to them, right? Like, you just don't know.
Yeah.
And they see things, they're like, hey, nobody's got a screen in front of them. This doesn't make any sense to me. What is this? But they embraced the Sandlot the first time they saw it. Every summer the rule was always we watch it on July 4th. They would start begging me like in May, can we watch it? Can we watch it now? And I happened to connect with David Mickey Evans, who is the writer, the director, and the narrator of the Sandlot years ago when he was around one of the anniversaries. He was coming to Baltimore to do an event. And when James Earl Jones passed away, I said to Griffin, I'm like, dude, you should reach out to I bet he's got some great James Earl Jones stories just from the little bit of time that James Earl Jones. He reached out. We had he had incredible James Earl Jones stories.
Wow.
And then apparently the next day, because I told him, I'm like, I just need to tell you how much this film means to me, to my family. Yeah. He reached back out to Griffin the next day and said, send me your address. I'd like to send you something. And he sent 4 autographed posters made out to myself, Griffin, and one each for each of my 2 sons.
Oh, man.
And so in their rooms at home, they've got them displayed, and it means the world to them, too. So I'm hoping that means we share this, like, that you also have these romantic feelings for the Sandlot as well.
But no, you did a very good thing there where you brought it back to me. But no, I'm coming right back to you. And then everyone listening, so it's very kismet. Did you also have on a Sandlot t-shirt
I did.
today?
I didn't even think about that. I am wearing a You're Killing Me Smalls t-shirt. I am wearing that today. That is a good point.
You're killing me, Glenn.
That just happened. That's pure happenstance. That just happened to be the t-shirt that I grabbed out of the closet this morning on the way out.
Oh, my gosh.
I just got back from a significant trip to Tanzania recently.
Beautiful.
And I have still not done laundry. I have still not had the opportunity.
But I think it's very at the core of They Fight, meaning I've just always been deeply, deeply in love with children in cinema.
Yeah.
Like kids on screen, and that's one of the classic films. So for me to walk in here today to have this conversation with you, man, I'm like, that's really, really cool, because so much of us, we share that idea and our experience with cinema as kids growing up. And so, for me, man, They Fight, as I keep saying, is like this Karate Kid narrative punched in the face with a John Hughes coming of age story.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
Sheldon, how did this come about, right? Like, because you use the word kismet, like for someone who's from here, for it all to work, like everything to fall in line the way that it did, for you to have this story to tell, for you to be able to make this film. Can you walk me through the process of how They Fight happened for you?
Yeah, super thankful for my producer, Jason Michael Berman, who's also Baltimore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pikesville guy.
Pikesville
Absolutely.
guy, Jemissy school kid.
Yep.
And, Jason had produced and made the documentary with Andrew Renzi. So 2017 was the doc of this story. And when I saw the doc they made, I was like, oh my gosh, if this thing can ever be adapted into a movie, there's a really, really wonderful, cinematic, because you're not doing a one-to-one, right? You've already experienced the documentary. Now, how do you take that doc and make a film that's inspired by the lives, but then also kind of raise the ante? And I was like, well, I want to make a movie that's like when I was a kid and I would watch these films and they would just so deeply inspire me to want to do something, especially within the sports genre. So if I'm not mistaken, this is the first headgear, oversized glove boxing movie with black boys in it.
Really?
Yeah, man.
Really?
Yeah. But not just period.
That's really powerful, man.
Cool, man.
And I think that story it's set in DC. But the story, we all know Coach Mack. We all know the Upton Gym. We all know, the path that a lot of young fighters, young black men have taken in this city to try to stay off the streets, to try to stay out of trouble in boxing. So yes, it's a DC, and it's from a legitimate story out of DC and a real gym and all of that, because you mentioned the documentary. But it feels so similar to so many stories that we have heard of young men and the path that they have attempted to take through boxing here in our own city.
Well, I mean, I was fortunate. So in the journey of making the film, starting out, I'm a huge Michael Mann fan. He's one of my favorite filmmakers. And if you know anything about Michael Mann, he's an information hound. He's a research nut. It's all about the specificity of the world of the movies he's making. And so for me, I went on a barnstorming tour, and I went into all of these boxing gyms. And, I went in with Coach Waheed in Philly. I got to go into No Excuses in D.C. with Coach Lamont Roach.
Wow.
And then also right here in Baltimore, Upton Boxing Center with Coach Calvin Ford and Coach Josh Powell. Coach Kenny is there, and also Coach Caesar. I walk in this gym, and here's what's interesting about boxing. Most of us who are outside of the world and we're only spectators, we only know boxing through the heavyweight, lightweight, middleweight adults, usually men, and now women's boxing is taking on a thing culturally, but we only know adults. You really don't know the experience of what I call the Saturday morning boxing tournament experience for youth amateurs. And so when I went and got into this world, I said, oh my gosh, we're conditioned in boxing to see someone get hit with a big punch. It's in super slow motion. The neck snaps back and sweat flies. You go to a boxing tournament in the youth amateur ranks, you never see
not what it looks
it's
like.
not what it looks
That's
like.
not what it looks like.
It's tactical, right? It's scoring points, and it's just this idea of the beginning stages of what it is to be a boxer. And so I was really thankful that I got to be a fly on the wall to really understand what it is to be and then I would meet kids, and I'm like, hey, so how old are you? Well, I'm 10 years old. Well, how long you been boxing? Since I was 4. So meeting kids that have been boxing more than half their living lives.
Wow.
Yeah.
The part where it ends up being filmed in Baltimore, when you end up being a part of this project, is that already decided somehow, or is that a you thing where you say, hey, I know where I want it? How does that part of this happen?
Well, so Andrew Renzi and Michael Minahan, Michael wrote the Washington Post article that the documentary came from. And so they had the connection with Coach Cal. And so Coach Calvin Ford, I literally just walked in there off of Pennsylvania Avenue. I mean, of course, Mike made the call, and they embraced me like family. And they're like, so wait a minute, you going to do a movie, but it's about the babies? It's about the boys and the girls in the gym? I was like, yes, sir. That's what I'm here to do is make a film. And all the way through the process, Coach Josh, along with our stunt coordinator, Rick Kane, they literally became the offensive and defensive coordinator for me in making this film.
So when you had you drawing out a boxing scene, right? Like, and obviously it leads up to this incredible fight. I don't want to give too much away about the film.
Yeah.
There is an incredible, like last fight sequence involving again 2 young boys.
Yeah.
But like, are you actually drawing up the scene yourself? Are you working with the coaches on, hey, what would this look like? Is that something you'd ever done before?
I hadn't done it, and so there are a couple of things there. So when we are so fortunate to discover Anthony B. Jenkins, who plays Peanut, and then Toussaint Francois Baptiste, who plays Quincy, I meet
these young actors, man. They were it's
kids.
unreal.
And,
it's so unreal.
Yeah, and Tori J. Malone, like those 3 kids. And so when I meet them, I say, listen, you guys are wonderful natural actors. Like, you're not showy. You're not like a stage kid. But you guys have to commit to starting journeys as boxers, meaning there's a boxing boot camp. The only way you get this job is you're going to have to go into Upton with Coach Josh, and every day for more than 1 week, for weeks, you guys are going to start this journey as boxers. And so to me, that's just pulling you closer to how authentic it is. So when you reference the end fight, that makes me feel great as a filmmaker, because I honored this world where it wasn't the choreography. No, they're fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And then to me, it is when watching boxing movies, there are moments you can really feel fight choreography. No, at this point, this is what they call just letting their hands go. Yeah,
they're just go, man. It is an incredible scene. It's an incredible scene. Sheldon Candis is in studio with us. He's the director and one of the writers. They Fight, which is available now on Disney Plus and Hulu. Sheldon, we're going to share a clip in a second. I first just want to talk about Wendell Pierce.
Yes.
Because I could talk about Wendell Pierce forever. He's, to me, one of the greatest actors. Wendell Pierce can do more with his eyes than many actors can do with all of their gifts.
Yes.
I know that originally someone who I was actually quite close with, the late, great Isaiah Whitlock, was supposed to play this character.
Yeah.
Watching it now, it's almost impossible for me. Like, I can't fathom this character being played by anyone other than Wendell Pierce. How does that part of this come about? I know there was the casting director from The Wire was involved.
Mm-hmm.
Was there any part of you that was worried about, like, I don't know if I want too much connection. This is a different thing. I don't want it to just be like, if we're in Baltimore, there's got to be connections to The Wire. Like, did you think about that at all?
Well, here's the thing. So I'm not just saying this because I'm from here. The Wire is the greatest TV show ever.
You're not the only person. It's not a Baltimore thing. I mean, like, I think it was an Entertainment Weekly that did that, like, a few years ago.
Yeah,
we know that.
But here's the thing. No, I'm not coming for Entertainment Weekly, but we're happy you finally caught up to that.
Fair.
Because when the show was on, all the awards it should have gotten, it didn't. And we're well aware of that, right? So it's great that culturally it was caught up to of how wonderful it is. Now, mind you, respectfully, I'll say that to me, it's in my all-time top 5. It's my number 1 in my 5. But of course, you got to reference, anything from Breaking Bad to The Sopranos,
sure.
Right? Mm-hmm. And so with that being said, you mean to tell me I get to be a filmmaker and I get to work with guys from The Wire? Sign me up. So first movie, there were multiple guys from The Wire.
This was
Love.
Yeah,
my first movie, Love, and so we had the late great Mike K. Williams as Omar.
My God,
he's in. But then the thing I love about him in Love is I put him on the other side of the narrative, and he plays a cop. He plays a detective in Love, and Clark Johnson is in Love. Remember he worked at the paper in The Wire, and Anwan Glover, who was Slim Charles, is in Love. And so it's just one of those things where I'm just super excited. And so now when we come to They Fight, I was like, man, yes, we got Wendell and we got Andre Roll. Like, we played this movie in Baltimore and D.C., and people, when the minute they saw Andre Roll on that screen, it was like literally people like applauded.
There's also, like, in a weird way, it almost feels like a continuation of Bubs. I don't want to give any. I don't want to give anything away, like, because it's just one scene and it's really powerful. But like, it almost feels like you're looking at Bubs in that moment.
Thank you. It literally feels like Bubs is in the middle of his journey of his character in this movie, right? Coming off of The Wire where he's at, now you feel like you're just catching back up with Bubs. And I love stuff like that, you know, and I feel like also, you know, when I think about like this movie, when I experienced the Cuddy storyline in The Wire,
man,
I never forget. I said this is a movie inside of the Wire universe, so I find it quite interesting that I was able to make a true story of a boxer returned home to do good in the community and do right by the kids. Ain't that crazy?
I mean, it's for those that don't know, Cuddy was basically, it was based on Calvin Ford. Was inspired by the character of Cuddy was supposed to basically be Calvin Ford.
Yep.
You're right. It is very full circle in that way. We felt all of that watching it.
Yep.
Wendell specifically.
Yes, Wendell.
Because I referenced James Earl Jones a minute ago, and I'm not trying to make it. James Earl Jones obviously is, you know, one of one.
Yeah.
But the more I watch Wendell, and particularly in this role, the gravitas, the what he brings to this character, what he brings, take nothing away from Andre, take nothing away from any of the other actors in this film.
Yeah.
But Wendell, to me, brings a gravitas that is very difficult to compare.
Yeah.
And like, I know this person.
Yes.
This person is, I'm going to assume someone that, I'm obviously not black, so I can't speak to that part of this, but I think everyone knows this uncle, this person in their life, and boy, did he command this film to me.
Yeah, and you know, it's interesting too, because you know, of course, us as we call it, the black delegation, we appreciate we appreciate you saying that, but at the core of it, we're all American.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that's what's so relatable about it. This movie is a love letter to the old rec centers and what those mentors meant to our lives. And Wendell's, he's legendarily, historically known for this performance, Death of a Salesman on stage, right? And I told him he came back to Baltimore and he turned this movie into Death of a Boxing Gym. It's so Willie Loman. It's so like,
wow, I hadn't thought about that.
You know how deep that is, right? And I'm so thankful for him because, you know, once we lost Isaiah and, you know, he wasn't feeling well, his doctor brought him back to New York. You know, you're told, hey, Wendell Pierce is on Elsbeth. He's on a major show. He's high on that call sheet. He's at the very top of that. He's just not available. That's what you immediately hear. Well, fortunately, Jason Berman, you know, my producer, had produced Highest to Lowest, Spike Lee's Denzel Washington movie, and Wendell's in the film. Jason and Wendell had developed a rapport, so where Jason could reach out to Wendell directly, hey, Wendell, this role is perfect for you. Is there a way we can make this happen? And Wendell was like, oh yeah, I got pull on my show. I'm able to go do passion projects and things. And so, so Wendell comes to Baltimore. Here's what's interesting. I always say, Wendell saved the character, but he didn't save my schedule. Because we basically
had to work around.
Him
because he's on this CBS show that you gotta right. It like makes life a little bit more difficult, but you're willing to do for Wendell Pierce. For Wendell Pierce, and it was worth it.
And it was worth every moment of it, you know. And it's just like, you know, but you got an actor on loaner from CBS, and then it's intersected with limited shooting hours with kids. It was the most challenging thing, but I got to tell you, it's the greatest experience I've had in filmmaking.
Man, that's powerful. I don't know if because I think this is a long clip, but I do want to share one other clip from They Fight. This is, again, courtesy of Anscape, and you'll see a little bit of the power of Wendell Pierce in this clip as well, who is just one of one, man. Like, he is so special, and I'm so glad that he was available for this role. Not that I don't think Isaiah Whitlock, who, Senator Clay David, everybody knows Isaiah Whitlock's brilliant. Yeah. But Wendell Pierce in this role was perfect. This is courtesy of Anscape.
Oh, you got that easy. We need to put another 24-inch up there. Keep your form. Keep your form. Go! Down and up. You know, I've been asking God to send me my help for a long time. And sure enough, one day, this man right here come walking in. Ain't no coincidence. That's divine intervention. Any of you know what I'm talking about?
It's when the universe, when God got bigger plans for you, ain't it, Coach?
Sounding like Marcus Garvey. Yeah. Well, I want y'all to hear what divine intervention sounds like. Coach.
I know it's been a lot of questions going around the gym about me. And, in order to win, can't be no secrets between the fighter and his coach. But y'all go ahead and ask what you want.
Let's pause it because I think this particular scene is so powerful. I want people to watch it in the context of the film and Walt's speech, which it leads me to another question I wanted to ask you, Sheldon.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like this is unique. There's been a lot over the years that's been made of black trauma in film. And Walt's story, you know, the Andre Holland character, is obviously built around, I think, some of those familiar concepts of black trauma. As a filmmaker, as an artist, how do you walk that line of acknowledging this? I don't want to exploit black trauma.
Yeah.
I want to tell a story, and that is part of this story, which, again, maybe I'm not the person to judge this because the color of my own skin, but I think you did an incredibly good job of making it part of the story without making it the story.
Yeah, I mean, man, once again, so Glenn, you gotta understand, you're working towards an invite to the cookout, man. You're getting close. You may already be invited.
I can smoke some meats. I'm not gonna be putting raisins. There's gonna be no raisins in potato salad. I promise. I'm not doing that.
Steve's hilarious.
I'm not doing that. I'll smoke some like queso, put some steak in there. I can do that.
No, but honestly, I really appreciate that commentary and that insight that you express, man, because we know and we've seen time and time again through the moving image, through movies, this idea at the forefront, the trauma, the pain, this idea of what that is in the black experience. And then the studio systems and that for eons upon eons led with that. And that was almost like this weird type of way of what the biopic was, the based on the true story. And they're leaning into that. And for me,
it became essentially trauma porn.
Come on, dude.
Like it became like how awful can we make this look to get people to look at it?
Yeah, and I think for me as a cinephile and as a filmmaker who's really dedicated to my own voice as an auteur, I'm not interested in leaning. I never forget one time there was this review of Spike Lee's Do the Right Thing. And the reviewer made this statement, well, I can't believe it because there's no depiction of drug use in Do the Right Thing. And Spike Lee's answer was very simply, that's not the movie I'm telling. You know what I mean? Yes, that exists in this neighborhood, but in this story, in this moment, we're not focused on that. And so I feel like we feel at times as Black Americans that these things are always immediately attached to our narratives and to our beings and to our lives. Whereas at the end of the day, yes, Walt had some real struggles. That is very much real. But for me, I'm focused on inspiring kids to go after a dream, right? And that's what the focus needs to be. It needs to be Gladwell's The 10,000 Hours. Hey, if y'all put the work in, like I'm seeing these kids in these gyms doing right now, right? I'm 10 years old. I've been boxing since I was 4. Whether that kid becomes a professional boxer or not, they have learned things in that gym at an early age
will carry with them
forever, right? And so that's what I find I think is just so important about this movie and about this idea of the films that we're making, that yes, we're not saying that the trauma doesn't exist, but can we focus on the triumph?
It's so inspiring. Like it's so I legitimately, as I was watching it, I watched it on Saturday morning. And I found myself saying, like, this is beautiful. Like, what a beautiful story this is.
Beautiful, man.
Like that part, and I'm sure that's what drew you to it to begin with the documentary and wanted to tell it.
Yeah.
But like, it's such a beautiful story for people to embrace.
Yes.
And like I don't think it's classic sports tropes. I think it's touching on that, right?
Yeah.
Like it's touching on that concept, but exploring the more detail of someone's life within sports that did so well for me.
Yeah.
The love letter part of it, I'm going to make a dumb comparison.
Okay.
When I was 23, I left for a job in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thriving. I was doing really well. I was just offered mornings in Arizona. Like, dude, radio was great. And I found myself, and it sounded dumb, it said, this is cool, but I wish it was in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wish it felt lesser to me that I wasn't doing it at home.
Mm-hmm.
You have obviously had success, but now doing Baltimore Boys a few years ago, which was great, doing this, how much more meaningful is it to you that you're able to do this here, that you're able to tell stories to the world about us, show us? How much even more meaningful? I'm sure you would just wanted to make a film. I'm sure there's a part of that, but how much more meaningful is it that you get to do it that way?
Well, I grew up watching Barry Levinson movies, and Barry Levinson,
Diner's a love letter to Baltimore. It's a love
Diner,
letter to Baltimore.
Liberty Heights, right?
Yeah.
And so I always joke and say, Barry Levinson is from Liberty Heights. I'm Sheldon from Park Heights. And if you know Baltimore, you know exactly what that means, right? And that's the thing, like just watching Liberty Heights and being like, oh my gosh, this is a filmmaker from my city. And he's telling these really, really wonderful, beautiful, emotional dramas. Like I want to do that one day, but I want the characters to reflect my neighborhood and the people that I came up under, and so then later to then discover Spike Lee movies and that be a very strong New York identity in Brooklyn and his neighborhood and his community, and then I believe that it was John Singleton's Boys in the Hood, man.
Wow.
Like to see Boys in the Hood as a kid and to be like, wait a minute, this place feels like Baltimore to me, but it's in LA. And then the guy who made it is clearly this kid from the neighborhood. It just deeply inspired me, man, to be like, okay, you can be Baltimore's version of that. And when it comes to Barry Levinson and John Waters, just the fact that I can walk in Beyond Video, right? And I can walk in that wonderful, amazing like movie rental house, and I can see Barry Levinson films on the shelf, and I can see John Waters films on the shelf, and I see my movies there too. Yeah,
That's powerful, man.
Come on,
that's powerful.
Shout out to Beyond Video, man.
That's so cool, man. Oh, you're giving me goosebumps now, right? Like you're giving me goosebumps. What when for people that haven't sought out the film, right? I feel like the message is it's a really good film, right? Like that's to me, it's a really good film. Watch it. What do you hope that they're taking away after they watch They Fight?
I mean, I feel like everyone's story matters, right? Everyone's life matters. And I feel like for me, whether you're a 13-year-old boy or girl in a gym, or you're well into your senior years, it's just never too late to go after that dream if you're willing to put the work in. That's the thing that I think is most important, is that anything that you're most passionate about, just go after it. But knowing that it takes the work to do it, and and for me, the same thing as a filmmaker, it has been a very challenging, long road, but I've loved every minute of it. I started off as a production assistant, which is the very bottom of the film industry, and I was an office coffee runner, and I did all of those things, and the whole time I was writing, like I was putting the work in to be a writer-director. And it doesn't matter what anyone thinks about me or thinks about the art that I create. I just basically come down to this, and I'm very, very guarded and protected of anyone who is courageous enough to be a creative soul. It's whenever people with these phones and technology, everyone's so quick to give their opinion on something, right? And they believe that through social media, their opinion matters. Well, here's the deal. When it comes to any art, when it comes to you on your radio show, I say to those people, 1, can you do it? 2, can you do it better? And 3, if not, please shut up.
I definitively cannot make a better film. Definitively. I cannot do that. I might not even be able to make a better radio show than Sheldon. I definitely cannot make a better film than They Fight. I can say that with certainty. Who gets to be the actual mayor of Park Heights, you or the mayor? Who's the, like, you have the Park Heights, who's the one that comes out on top from a couple of Park Heights kids that have done well for themselves?
Well, and then don't forget about Ta-Nehisi Coates is from Park
true,
Heights.
right?
Like, I mean, hey man, like Park Heights, man, and it's funny, and I gotta give love to writer D. Watkins because D is he's proud East Baltimore. And I'm all for it because, while I was up in Park Heights and then also Reservoir Hill as a kid, I was down in East Baltimore with my family as well. And I think that I just love the power of movies. I love this moment for Baltimore. I love this moment for the DMV, too, because while this is a Southeast D.C. story, it was made by the hands of Baltimore folks.
Sure was. It's very much ours. I want to pitch you my idea for writing a movie about Juan Dixon next. I want his story.
Juanie.
I feel like there's a story there that hasn't fully been touched. Yeah. And he probably would never be uncomfortable with telling it either because he's just like that. But I want to pitch that idea.
Real quick, too, one thing since you brought up Juan Dixon. So there needs to be a Muggsy Bogues statue in this city.
Man, I was just talking to Muggsy a couple weeks ago, and he was like, "Why don't we have a Baltimore Athletics Hall of Fame?" And I said, I did. I reached out to Brandon. I said, "Mr. Mayor, like, what are we doing here?"
Well, because think about it. Rocky Balboa is at the top of those steps in Philly.
He is.
Hey, everyone, just newsflash.
Yeah,
he's not a real person.
Now, wait a second. How dare you? How dare you, sir? Rocky Balboa means more to me than many real people do.
Yo, Adrian. Hey. Yeah, I think Muggsy does need
Yeah, did you forget that he ended the Cold War, sir? Did you forget that?
Hey.
With respect.
Hey.
The man ended the Cold War.
Hey, Rocky is my all-time favorite movie.
It's
like I've seen it
it's
hundreds
of
times.
Perfection.
I mean, the movie is amazing. So with that being said, think about it. Muggsy Bogues from our city, 5'3", the league's shortest ever player. They said at times with Muggsy on the court, he could completely dominate a game without taking a single shot.
Yep.
He was a lockdown defender. You could not get the ball past half court, and then he was a facilitator of the ball. And I just find it just so amazing, like Muggsy Bogues. And Coach Bob Wade, too, is a whole nother thing. The thing that I love, and we're talking about this, and I just want to make sure I say this on the radio waves, that it's not arguably, but it's very similar to the Wire conversation. You kind of have to hold space. But that Dunbar Poets team is the greatest high school basketball team of all time.
No question. No question.
And listen, to be straight, because there's a certain idea in Bristol coming out of ESPN and also coming out of New York City, it's almost like Baltimore is looked as like this sort of kind of little cousin.
We talk about it constantly.
Right. And so when I boldly go into ESPN 30 for 30 and I say you do realize this is the greatest high school basketball team, well, I mean, what about no, here's the deal. You are in fact entitled to your own opinion. You're not entitled to your own facts. The facts are 4 NBA players off of 1 high school basketball team,
including maybe the greatest phenomenon in basketball history, including
and then 12 D1 athletes. Once again, not D2, not D3, D1 athletes. This team, my cousin Reg, who played at Southern his freshman year, he brags to me, Sheldon. So I hit that Dunbar team for 20 one night. But Glenn, You know what he said? His very next sentence.
And we lost by.
They beat us by 50.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Of course they did. That's what they did to everybody. They ran everybody out of the gym. That's how brilliant they were. It was poetry, man.
Yep.
Sheldon, it's so great to meet you.
You too.
Your story is just, I'm telling you, it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I didn't know anything about it.
Thank you.
Griffin told me about it last week. I said, you got me. Like, you got me. And I'm so glad that I spent the time with it because it is just a wonderful, wonderful film. What's next? What's on the
Man, there are a couple things. Dude, it's like, so there's one story that I've been developing, and it's basically this idea of a guy who comes back to Baltimore. His dad dies, and he's trying to reconnect and patch up and fix his relationship with his mother, but he's also deeply dealing with the grief of losing his father. But his father leaves him one thing that ultimately can help him buy his first house, but it was the one thing that bonded him and his dad. And it's worth a lot of money, and so our character has to decide whether or not he's going to move this family asset. Do you know what the asset is?
I'm trying to think of what this could be. I'm trying to figure out what this could be. I like the idea that what would be. Is it sports memorabilia of some sort?
This is a mic drop on your show.
Yeah.
But yes, it's sports memorabilia. And it's Baltimore-centric sports memorabilia.
Is it a Johnny Unitas-related piece of memorabilia?
No.
Is it a Babe Ruth baseball card?
No.
Oh, man.
And there's a Babe Ruth Baltimore connection, isn't there?
Yeah, he's from Baltimore. Absolutely, yeah. All right.
Do you want a hint?
I do kind of want to hint.
Okay, all right, here we go. But here's the thing, man. I feel like the minute I give you the hint, you're
I'm
gonna.
I'm gonna know immediately.
Okay, it's Orioles sports memorabilia. One of the most legendary pieces of
Orioles sports memorabilia.
But it's so centric. It's going to take you back to your childhood.
It's going to take me
because it used to drive me crazy trying to find this thing. Was almost like a
This wasn't the Billy Ripken card, was it?
I can't say it on
the
air.
F-face.
The
F-face card.
The F-face
card.
It's the F-face card.
Oh my God!
Griffin.
Really? If you make a movie about the F-face card, I'm going to lose
card.
my mind. If you make a movie about the F-face card,
it's the F-face card.
I swear to God, I will drive to LA.
Yes.
I will.
Yeah,
I
man.
swear to everything.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so in. I need this movie like I need air to breathe. I need this movie like I need air to breathe.
So it's taking something like the legend and the idea
Oh
of
my
how
God.
that's like a. I mean, that thing was like a unicorn,
Yes,
right? To be able to pull
100%.
that out of a baseball pack. And using that as like this linchpin to tell this really deeply emotional story of grief.
Oh, please. I'll invest. I don't have a lot, but I'll invest. I mean, whatever you can get from me, I'm in. I'm in, brother. I need this movie immediately.
Yeah,
oh, my God. I'm so excited for that.
My man.
Sheldon, is there anything else we can plug for you? Social media? What?
Hey, look, dude.
Dude,
it's there. I mean, dude, can you tell any of your personal stories about that card?
No one believed it was real.
Exactly.
When we were kids, we would hear stories about it, and you would laugh at it, right? Because this is before the internet. Like, that's not a thing. It doesn't even make sense. Like, you can't possibly make sense of the idea that there was a baseball card printed that said F-face on the bottom. It doesn't even register with you. So it became this almost urban legend where you're like, all right, but it's not real because they only put a few of them out, and then they realized it, and they called it back, and they reprinted it without F-face written on the bottom of the bat. And so then the internet comes along, and you actually see evidence of it, and you're like, holy S, this is real. And then Bill's doing interviews about it and tells the story. And it just becomes so larger than life. The concept that whenever you bring up the name Billy Ripken, the first thing anyone
100%.
else says back is F-face.
100%.
Like, that's it. And so it is iconic. It is your 100%. I should have guessed that first. I don't know why I didn't think of that first. Like, I was trying to think of, like, maybe it was like a game. No, the F-face card is the thing. What is an F-face card worth? This is an actual. Hang on. I want to know right now, if you had an actual card, how much? Over $1,000. We're going to have to make it a little bit more than that.
Oh, no, in the script it is.
Yeah, it's going to have to be a little bit more than that.
It was something like $20K. And then, so you know how Baltimore to my core I am. So then I also at one point, so some of my favorite 30 for 30s were the ones that were sports charging docks, but then they had this overall larger idea. Like the two Escobars is my favorite one.
God, that's brilliant.
That one, and then there also was the one that day in sports, right?
The
OJ Chase.
June 19. What date is it? June 15th, 1994. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So those are like my favorite ones that are doing something else, and so I literally pitched like a dramatic thriller, 30 for 30. The day Cal Ripken's mom got kidnapped.
Oh my God, man. What a story that was.
Remember that?
What a story.
And it has
was.
a positive ending. So I was like, hey, everybody, don't freak out. It has a happy ending. But those moments of terror for that family, you know, America's son of baseball, Captain America himself.
It's sort of similar to what we saw with Nancy with Savannah Guthrie's mom, Nancy, recently, which unfortunately does not look like it's going to have a happy ending and appears to be tragic. But that would be. By the way, also, if you just did a 30 for 30 about the F-face card,
dude.
Like I feel like that would be that in and of itself, like how that ever became a thing. And I know Bill's told the story a lot and like just assumed that there's no way that this was. Dude, like, we'll have fun with it.
And then remember when Brady Anderson became a sex symbol?
Dude, became a sex symbol. How about every young lady that I knew in my life had a poster of Brady Anderson?
The Brady Anderson poster.
Like that, it's something no one could understand this today. The women at Perry Hall High School they had the shirtless Brady Anderson poster in
with the bat, right?
100%.
Yes,
100%. They had that everywhere.
I mean, and that's the first. I think that's the first time on a human being. I think I saw like an 8-pack.
You're right.
He
I'm
was
looking
like
at an alien.
Yeah, he was unreal, and that was amazing. Like at that moment, it was almost like the Goodwill Hunting poster in like girls' rooms in college, or like 100%. Leonardo DiCaprio, the Titanic poster.
Yep. They all had
Brady Anderson had a moment.
All had it, and it made them watch baseball, which was great news for me because then I could like connect with them about something because I was a nerd. Dude, look at that! Look at that person. On it. Look at that person.
Griffin is on it.
That doesn't look like a human being. That looks like who we would send to fight the aliens.
And here's the thing, you know, I feel like, you know, for men, I've never been shy of giving a dude his props.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Like, hey, you know, like, hey.
Now, this is the funny part, because Brady, of course, said he never used steroids. He said he just hit his athletic opus, and we all laughed about that. But look at that right now. That is the definition of an athletic opus.
Jeez.
Like, that is the definition, the way that dude looks. That is. And every female, every young female.
I love going down this, like,
we could do this show. You want to do this show? We can do this show forever. It's so funny I brought up the mayor. He's on my podcast this week. And we were talking about how we both shared this obsession with Mike Devereaux when we were kids.
Oh, wow.
I was an obsessed Mike Devereaux fan to the point that my poor mother, for Halloween one year, all I wanted to do was be Mike Devereaux. Now, clearly, you know, we don't have to share the same complexion. It was going to require that I had a jersey, but no one was selling a Mike Devereaux jersey.
Yeah.
My mother, like literally made a Mike Devereaux jersey for me that year so that I could be Mike Devereaux for Halloween. And it was my favorite Halloween costume I ever had.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, it was a trip. So my all-time favorite is Eddie Murray.
Okay. I mean, that's a very common.
Well, what's interesting though but then some people say, well, wait a minute, why not Frank Robinson? Well, because I grew up watching Eddie.
Makes sense.
I used to go to the games and, like, you know what I mean? It was like he was there. To me, in a weird way, if you're doing kind of these parallels in baseball, he almost was like the Andre Dawson of Baltimore.
Ooh, he was so cool,
right? Because you had Dawson and Sandberg
and the like that,
right?
He just looked.
So get this, right? So to me, Eddie Murray and Cal Ripken were like Nick Nolte and Eddie Murphy in 48 Hours,
Yep,
right?
I like
in
that.
baseball uniforms.
And they were legitimately best friends.
Yeah.
Like Cal and Eddie were legitimately best friends at that time, which I think added to that.
Yeah.
We were doing that my top 5 of like. So, like, I can't talk about Brooks Robinson, the baseball player. I know Brooks Robinson, the figure. I got to know him very well later on in life, and I know what he means to my father. I know that we talk about Brooks Robinson, my father's going to cry, right? Like, I understand that.
Yeah.
But for me, it's Mike Devereaux.
Yep.
It's Cal Ripken.
Yep.
It's honestly, it's Brady. Like, the 50 home run season was just magic.
Yes.
And then just because they were guys that I got to know better recently, like Adam Jones and Cedric Mullins, were and I also have a thing for center fielders. Like in baseball, I was an obsessed Kenny Lofton fan, even though he didn't play for the Orioles.
Love Kenny Lofton.
Just because you would see them do things.
Dude, Adam Jones is such a cool dude. Just a nice,
just the best
dude,
human
man.
being that you could ever possibly have. He's impossible.
Yeah.
We joke about it all the time. He and I got into a fight once. We got into the opening day 2012 before we knew the Orioles were going to be any good. He was pissed off about something. He gave an answer, and I dunked on him about it on the radio. And he heard, like, somebody said, you should hear this idiot going after you on the radio. And he reached out to me, and it was like, oh, my God. And we agreed we were going to go down and meet at Frank and Nick's and, like, deal with it. And I was like, am I going to fight Adam Jones?
Oh, gosh.
Like, that's not a good idea.
At all.
That's a terrible idea.
all.
What a bad idea that would be. And instead, we just started talking, and I was like, oh, you're the best human being of all time.
He really is.
As
man.
it turns out,
Yeah.
and he was just like, hey, man, I was having a bad day. I gave a bad answer. Like, I mean, it was just, it just turned out to be one of my favorite human beings that I've ever come across in the history of being in this town. And so, God bless Adam Jones. We should build a statue of him somewhere just for being the guy he is.
It's funny. Like, I'm so going down. So did you know that for the longest, now going back to Sylvester Stallone, his passion project that he never got to make, one of them, is Edgar Allan Poe.
Really?
And you imagine how cool that would be?
It's really crazy.
They
Like,
kind of feel like they're in the same family tree.
There's a lot of that there. I had no idea.
Yeah, man. He wanted to make an Edgar Allan Poe movie.
There's always still time. There's still a little, I don't know, somebody who would play Poe at this point, but like, there's still a little bit of time.
I
there.
always say,
I will totally, that I Am Stallone thing they're doing, like they're doing a movie.
I play Rocky.
I play Rocky.
That's
Rocky. Exactly what it is. I will watch that.
100%.
I will be there.
Yeah.
Dude, I know, I know we share this.
What?
When the first Creed movie came out,
and
I had that, like skepticism. I pretend like Rocky V never happened, even though I actually ended up becoming good friends with Tommy Morrison later on in life, and we talked. Yeah, it's very random. It's so random,
wow.
dude. I moved to Phoenix for a little while. He lived there.
We
connected.
Okay.
And we just nerded out about like his Sylvester Stallone stories.
Hey, you tell me I ain't no Bill.
100%. So when the first Creed movie came out, I was now even Rocky Balboa was very good. It was very good. But when the first Creed movie came out, I'm like, I don't know. And when they get to the scene where he opens up the trunks, I'm crying.
Yeah, dude.
I'm crying in the movie theater. I am weeping.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't believe. Now, God bless Ryan Coogler. He's
Hey,
effing genius.
Yes.
Jesus Christ. We need to protect that man at all costs.
Yes, we do.
Like, holy hell, everything he does is brilliant.
So one of the last things that I want to leave with you and leave with Baltimore, and this is a pitch I have to the Ravens.
Okay.
All right. So watch what I do here. I'm putting this out there. I feel like we need a character that appears every Ravens home game. Top of the fourth quarter, he just appears in one of the tunnels. It's Old Man Poe coming to haunt the opposing team.
I love
this. Don't you love it, Glenn?
I love this.
Is this not amazing?
I love this.
And he just appears anywhere in the stadium.
Now, can we combine it with the Omar whistle?
Yes.
Does the two things work together?
Yes.
I think they could work together. I think you could have the whistle, and then you don't know where he's coming from, and you're like, everybody's looking around the stadium, and all of a sudden, there he is. There's Old Man Poe haunting you.
Yeah, he literally just comes out and he gives a scowl. And he just walks on.
I think this is brilliant.
Isn't that
I
brilliant?
think this is brilliant. I'm gonna reach out to Brad. I'm gonna have a conversation with Jay O'Brien about this. This makes a lot of sense. Sheldon, it's so great to meet you, bro.
Nice to meet you
I love
too,
the
man.
film.
Thank you,
It's
man.
wonderful. I'm so glad we got to chat with you about
Me
it.
too.
And blessings to you. Continue great success.
And Griffin, thank you, man. You
you.
are the
Thanks for coming in.
conduit, dude. Thank you for bringing me to this moment.
He suggested it. He was like, "What?" He started with Wendell Pierce and Andre Roy, and I was like, "You have my attention. You have my attention." I'm going to tell you, most likely it's going to be a yes. And then from there, it just got better.
Thank you.
Sheldon Candis, thank you, brother.
Thanks,
We'll take a break.
guys.
We'll come
All
back
right,
in and
brother.
wrap things up.
The stars are shining brighter at Live Casino this summer. Celebrate America's 250th with $1 million. Earn entries daily July 1st through August 29th and snap a pic with our game board for a chance to win $100 in free play every week. We'll draw 50 free play winners each Saturday and $1 million winner on August 29th. Light it up at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
Aloha, O's fans. Summer is in full swing, and so is Hawaiian Shirt Weekend at the Yard. Catch the O's take on the Atlanta Braves Friday, July 24th and Saturday, July 25th at 7:05 p.m. Be one of 20,000 fans to score a Birdland Hawaiian shirt presented by Old Bay. Don't miss out on one of Birdland's favorite giveaways, perfect for repping the O's at the Yard, at the beach, and everywhere in between. Get your tickets at Orioles.com/tickets.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
This is Byron Warnkin. If you've been injured in a car or truck crash, you probably know this is stressful. Medical bills, the insurance company giving you the runaround, you got to get your car fixed. You don't just need a lawyer, you need results. At Warnkin LLC, we represent the injured across Maryland. Whether it's a car or truck crash case, medical malpractice, or any other serious personal injury, we fight for maximum compensation for you and maximum ease for you. You don't want to have to deal with this stuff. Warnkin LLC has been voted best personal injury law firm in Maryland for a reason. For us, 443 Results isn't just a phone number, it's our mission. Get the advocate that you need. Call us today, 443 Results, or visit us online, warnkinlaw.com. That's WARNKENLAW.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
When you feel invisible, exhausted, stressed, or anxious, and you have days that just feel too hard to get through, you are not alone. If you or someone you love is struggling with mental health or problems with drugs or alcohol, help is right in your hands. Call or text 988 to get support whenever you need it. Help is here. Call or text 988. Brought to you by Maryland Department of Health.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
I say it again. They Fight available right now on Hulu and Disney Plus, and it's great. It's great. I did give Griffin credit for telling us about it, but even when he told us about it, I still was like, all right. And then I watched it. I'm like,
It
was
I'm glad
well
you watched it. Yeah, I
well
watched
worth
it.
my
Then,
time.
then Glenn was like, "We should reach out to them," and so
Yeah.
I watched it right away. Yeah, I mean, it was
well worth my time. Just a really wonderful story, a really well-made film, and as I said, Wendell Pierce is to take nothing away from anybody else in this film. They were all great. Wendell Pierce is like he has a James Earl Jones quality to him in this role. That's the gravitas that he brought to this. I love this. Loved everything about it. Thank you again to Sheldon Candis for stopping by and spending some time with us. All right, before we get to Tidbit, today's show also brought to you by countysports.zone. Everything you need to know about high school sports as we get ready for the start of football season, they've got you covered. Countysports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Samuel Basallo, this is courtesy of Matt Wyrick of the Baltimore Sun. Samuel Basallo's status for the Orioles doubleheader against the Red Sox today is still TBD. Craig Albernaz says, quote, I would love to have him available, but we're going to be smart about it, unquote. Well, the way that reads is he's not going to play in Game 2. That's the way that it reads, but maybe we're just playing possum for the sake of playing possum. Like, maybe that's all that is. I don't know. I don't feel encouraged by that. Apparently, Adley Rutschman also spoke today, said, again, courtesy of Matt Wyrick, says the wrist injury cropped up on a, quote, weird swing, unquote, in his last at-bat Friday in Houston. Doesn't know the timeline for his potential return, but it's, quote, trending in the right direction, unquote. Good.
Is it?
Good. I mean, it's better than trending in the wrong direction. Like, if that's what he said, you'd be really concerned. He said it was trending in the right direction. So, good. Good. All right. I think that's everything we needed to do today. Let's get a tidbit. Tidbit brought to you by the Stan the Fan Variety Hour. Every Monday, Stan the Fan Charles. He of a new hip.
Wow.
Got to get him out here.
He'd be a runner now and just.
I think what we should do is now that he's got his new hip, we should send him to learn, send him with Shag and Flash and those guys, the family reunion guys, and learn like how to do the Park Heights strut. And we should get him with those guys.
Yeah, he nailed it.
That new hip.
He would.
Every Monday, although I do think he said he might be taking next week off. It's possible that he's going to be taking next week off, given this whole new hip thing.
Yeah, I guess.
Stan, Ross, they did do it this week for sure. Stan, Ross Grimsley, Lou Jackson, talking baseball with you. Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline, or PressBoxOnline.com/video. All brought to you by Warnken Law and the Costas Inn, with two great locations, the OG in Dundalk, the new one in Timonium.
I forgot to share it yesterday, but the Masson broadcast had this on Monday night when they were both coming in on their I guess combined 21 game win streak, or it was 20, and then with the Red Sox at a 13 game, and the Ravens, the Orioles had a 7-game win streak. So it was just the second matchup all time with a combined 20-game win streak, and both teams on a 7-game win streak.
You're not going to ask me there's no chance in hell.
Come on, you should know this.
Sure.
September 13th, 1884.
Oh, was it the Red Stockings? The Bridegrooms? Were they involved?
No.
The Zephyrs?
The St. Louis Maroons.
Oh, the Maroons.
Had won 12 in a row.
Of course, named after John Maroon. Everybody knows that. Yeah.
No, back in 1884.
Yep, 100%.
They were visiting the Washington Nationals, who were an 11-game win streak.
It's so old. There were still a Washington Nationals before there were the Washington Senators.
Yes.
It's how old that was.
And then I want to do this one as well, since I just hadn't done yet. Bradish obviously signed his $90 million extension.
That's Kyle Bradish, of course.
No, just Bradish now. He's just
he's doing like a
he's a one-name
thing?
guy.
All right,
one name guy. Or do you think he's just gonna be one name Kyle? Just call him Kyle.
Certainly, the Kyle we know doesn't deserve it.
Third most expensive contract in Orioles history.
Third most expensive contract in Orioles history.
Do you think you can name the top 10 most
maybe.
lucrative contracts?
All right, let's see if we can't. Chris Davis, obviously.
Chris Davis is number 1, yes.
With a bullet.
$161 million.
Adam.
Adam is in the top 4, $85.5 million. Signed in 2012.
I would have thought he was second. So what am I forgetting in between these two?
Jacob Calvin-Meyer pointed out four of the top 7 have all been signed in the last 11 months.
Yeah, well, that part makes sense, right? Basallo's on that list.
Basallo was 7th.
Yeah.
$67 million.
Nick Markakis is still on this list.
He is top 10, $66.1 million over 6 years.
That means that Boz is still on this list.
Boz is $1 million ahead of Basallo. Yeah, he's 6th.
It's number 2 that's driving me nuts.
Yeah, and you're gonna be like, oh duh.
I'm gonna be like, oh duh. I'm gonna be like, oh duh. I'm gonna be like, oh duh. Oh, it's Alonso.
Yep.
Yeah, it's Alonso.
155.
Yeah,
for
what am I doing?
Alonso.
Yeah, it's definitely Alonso.
You're missing number 5 on the list here. You've got the top 8.
5.
You're missing number 5.
Is it Tejada?
Miguel Tejada, $72 million over 6 years.
Like, there was a real vibe shift. We were like, okay. Going out here getting MVPs, are you?
And you were like, I bet we're 9 years away from making the playoffs now.
Exactly. Was it 03?
It was 03, yeah.
I thought it was 04 for some reason.
So you have the top 8.
The others would be like I know what the number was for Brian Roberts, and it feels like that can't be it, but I'm not coming up with other answers.
Yeah, but these last 2 are a little tough.
These last 2 are a little bit tough. I remember how much that when Cal Ripken was the highest paid player in baseball history. I remember what the number was, and I can't imagine it's still here. Then I'm trying to measure it against the pitchers, right? What about Albert Bell?
Albert Bell, $65 million
Albert Bell.
In 98.
Okay.
5 years, $65 million for Albert Bell. Number 9 on the list, $1 million behind, $1.1 million.
So do I have a chance to go 10 for 10 here?
You do.
Oh,
I
yes.
don't think you're. I mean, if you do, I'm gonna be impressed. I completely forgot they gave this guy that much money.
I'm torn between a few guys. I'm torn between Ubaldo.
Ubaldo is 11.
No! That's it. Cancel the show.
$50 million over 4 years for Ubaldo. This guy signed a 4-year, $57 million contract.
Alex Cobb.
Alex Cobb.
I thought about Alex Cobb. Damn it. I was doing so well. All right, very good. Here's what's coming up tubular-wise. Or we could just put Brady Anderson's very handsome body back on the screen. I feel like that would maybe do just as well.
Have you ever thought of taking a cruise to these wonderful destinations with sunny skies and beautiful beaches? Well, wait no longer. We're ready for you to cruise from the Cruise Maryland Terminal.
Have a little phrase that you can go from baggage to margarita in about 15 minutes.
Choose fun with an array of destinations, onboard activities, entertainment, and world-class cuisine.
Contact your travel agent and book your cruise today. Let your adventure begin.
All right, here's what's coming up tubular-wise. Orioles-Red Sox, Game 1's at 1:35. Dean Kramer and Jake Bennett, the pitching matchup for that one. Game 2's at 7:10. It's Kyle Bradish against Tibba. And I wonder if that for the Red Sox is like, have we won the series already or not? I wonder if that's what they're thinking about, particularly with like Suarez going towards Game 2.
I don't know. I mean, if they're on a 15-game win streak, are you? I guess.
Yeah. Why does one game mean all that much? Well, I guess because it's somebody that you could be competing up against.
Yeah.
For a
I mean,
playoff
yes, you're
spot.
right. I mean, yeah,
it's still important.
But well, I mean, like they can't be being like, it's not a big deal if we.
I hear you. Both games obviously on Masson. That's it, sports-wise, and it's more than there is tomorrow. Frankly, watch they fight. Well, not today. Tomorrow, watch they fight. Non-sports, anything?
I guess I can't remember. I don't think there was.
Oh, good.
I clicked
I'm glad we're prepared for the segment that we're doing.
Well,
right
I mean,
now.
I am prepared. I just clicked. I was doing other stuff and forgot. What's today?
so
Wednesday.
it sounds like
Who
you
wants
weren't
to
prepared.
be a millionaire? Season 5.
Oh, and MasterChef.
And MasterChef is back. Yeah.
we'd like that.
Season 1 finale on Freeform of $1 Million Nannies.
Hell yeah,
Who you
brother. I've got. I've got. Oh, I was trying to come up with something. I got nothing here. I've got Nanny.
Okay. Good,
Yeah.
Good. Apparently, Larry David and his daughter are going to be on this this premiere, this season 5 premiere of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Cool. Does his daughter do anything, or did she just date Pete Davidson, and so that's why she's famous?
Well, she's Larry David's daughter.
But I know her. Her name's Cassie. Right?
Yeah, Cassie David.
But what did she? Why is she famous?
She's Larry David's daughter.
That's it.
Imagine if you were Larry
Is she
David's.
like an
Try to
influencer?
put yourself in
Is she,
Larry
like,
David's daughter's
on-
shoes.
Is she like?
Probably,
I don't know
she
why
probably
I know who
influences somebody.
she is. All right, you know what? I regret asking.
I feel like
this
she's
question.
funny. Maybe
If you
I don't
say
know.
so.
I don't know. I meant to watch the trailer for this and I didn't. It looks like it could be a book clubber. It's called A Toxic Love Story on Netflix. In a glamorous California suburb, a young woman's arrest for a violent fantasy plot becomes a sensational scandal.
Oh.
But the truth remains hidden behind a sophisticated web of deception.
Okay.
I have not watched the trailer yet. I meant to and I forgot to. But it is on Netflix, so
Very
they
good.
typically don't steer us wrong. And then Hulu also has another one, My Grandfather Charles Manson. So it's about the granddaughter of
I think we talked about this before,
Charles
didn't
Manson. Did we? Well, there's a
feel
new
like
one out on Hulu this week. So
I feel like
or
that was
another
something
one. I don't know.
discussed before. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think I feel like we did do it. There was a Charles Manson thing.
All right, very good. Thanks today to I'm trying to remember. It was Chris Broussard who joined us earlier, and of course Sheldon Candis. We'll get that up in the greatest hits section of the.
Fallon's going to have John Leguizamo and Shania Twain.
I went to a Shania Twain show once. I'm good. No, I would not go to that tour.
But John
I like John
Johnny
Leguizamo.
likes.
I used to quote a line.
He was
from
in the Odyssey.
The
That's pretty good.
Pest. He was in the Odyssey. Really?
No one gets everyone.
I used to quote. This is embarrassing. When I was a young man and we didn't have the internet, we just had email. Like that's where we were. We had access. We could dial in, check our email.
Why don't you just text somebody?
But could not. Yeah, thank you. Could not connect to the internet, and so I took the email very seriously. And there was a line from the John Leguizamo film The Pest, where he was departing and he said his parting greeting was love, peace, and chicken grease. And so for years,
That was
my
your
email
signature?
was love, peace, and chicken grease. Boy, that's a trip down memory road I didn't know I was taking today.
Is this one of the? Is this like a book or not book club? Is this one that I should watch? Is this a
The Pest?
Yeah.
It was not.
It looks like a very
It
similar
was-
style to all the.
But it was just irrelevant for the most part. I don't think that it even had like a cult following.
It was
had
apparently
a
apparently
budget
means
of-
apparently meant a lot to you and your.
budget of $8 million and a box office of $3.6 million. So
Well,
not great. I enjoyed it if I remember correctly, but I think I was on Rotten Tomatoes 4%.
it can't be that bad.
Now you're gonna watch it, aren't you?
I know. It
No,
can't
hang
be
on a second.
4%.
Let me double check this.
Ari Spears is in it.
4%, but 67% from the audience. 4% from the critics. 67% from the audience on Rotten Tomatoes. It was not a classic.
Jeffrey Jones, he's funny. He was in
It
Ferris
definitely
Bueller's
was
Day
not
Off.
a classic. It was a film. That's what it
Okay.
was.
All right.
Anything tomorrow on the program?
We're gonna talk about the Orioles sweeping a doubleheader.
Is it really that bad? I thought we were gonna have.
Yeah, that's not confirmed yet. So
It's not a great sign. Not a great sign. Well, thanks to everybody at PressBox. Thanks to all our great sponsors and partners. Live Casino and Hotel, the Baltimore Orioles, Costas Inn, Baltimore area highest dairy stores, Leading Edge Auto Body, Bourne Law, 1-800-GAMBLER, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, Cruise Maryland, CountySports.zone, the Maryland Department of Health, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Wednesday evening. Go Birds again. Duke sucks.